Hey friends, welcome to the Time for Living podcast, your ultimate guide to finding the time you need to crush your business dreams while still having time to live your one beautiful life. I'm your host, Lucy Clark, a devoted boy mum, dedicated business owner and time-finding expert. Say goodbye to the I'm too busy mindset that's holding you back from growing your online business. No more feeling overwhelmed or stuck in the same place year after year. Each week, we'll dive deep into strategies for being intentional with your precious time so you can hit those business goals while still making time for yourself and your family. If you're ready to create more time, get practical tips and prioritize the steps that will make the biggest impact on your business and life, then you're in the right spot. Pop in your earbuds, steal a quiet moment, and let's find time together. Have you ever had one of those weeks, maybe even one of those months, where you feel like you're operating at your limits, barely keeping up? You're checking off the to-do list, meeting deadlines, showing up for your family, and somehow at the end of the day, you still feel like you're falling short. You look at your calendar and wonder, where did I last do something just for me? When did I last feel truly present, not just physically, but emotionally with the people I love? And when did I last make real progress on the dreams that light me up? You're definitely not the only one who feels this way. In fact, you're in the company of some of the most driven, ambitious women I know. Women who are juggling careers, families, friendships, health, and personal goals, all while trying to keep up with the never-ending demands of everyday life. If you're listening to this, chances are you're someone who wants to do more than just survive. You want to thrive. You want to feel in control of your time, your energy, and your life. You want to wake up each day knowing you're making progress on what matters, not just what's urgent or expected of you. But here's the thing, wanting all of that is a beautiful, powerful thing, and it's absolutely possible. And I know that because I've seen it in the women I mentor, in the stories I hear from listeners, and in my own journey. The secret isn't working harder or longer. It's not about squeezing even more into your already packed schedule. It's about making intentional choices with your time so you can finally stop feeling stretched too thin and start making room for what truly matters. That's what today's episode is all about, how successful women intentionally balance every area of their lives without sacrificing their joy or ambition. We'll talk about the 6 key domains of life, and I'll walk you through a simple but powerful question. How much time do you want to spend on each domain of your life? Not how much time you think you should spend, or how much time you feel obligated to give, but how much time you genuinely want to invest in each area, right now, in this season of your life. This is your chance to take a step back, to pause and reflect. What does your ideal week look like? Where do you want to be spending your energy? And how can you start making small intentional shifts so you feel more in control and more fulfilled? Because here's the truth. You deserve to feel good about how you spend your time. You deserve to thrive in every area of your life, not just one or two. So if you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed and start making real, meaningful progress on what matters most to you, you're in the right place. Let's get started. This first part is the power of intentional time allocation. Let's just talk for a moment about what happens when we let our calendars fill up on autopilot. It's so easy to fall into the trap of reacting, saying yes to every request, filling our days with tasks that feel urgent but aren't always meaningful. We end up living our lives in response mode, bouncing from one obligation to the next. And before we know it, the weeks blur together. The result, we're left feeling exhausted, overextended, and disconnected from the things and people that truly matter to us. Burnout and overwhelm aren't just side effects of busyness. They're the natural consequences of letting your time be dictated by others' priorities rather than your own. And the real cost, missing out on the moments, experiences, and relationships that light us up and make us feel rich and full. I know, because I've been there. I've looked back at weeks and months and realized I was everywhere and nowhere at once, constantly in motion, but not necessarily moving towards the life I really wanted. But here's the good news, it doesn't have to stay that way. The moment you start asking yourself, how much time do I want to spend on each area of my life, instead of just how much time do I have to give, everything changes. This simple shift in perspective puts you back in the driver's seat. It's about reclaiming your time as your own and using it intentionally to build a life that feels authentic, joyful, and aligned with your deepest values. When you start making choices based on what you truly want, you create a space not just for productivity, but for peace, connection, and fulfillment. That's the real power of intentional time allocation. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters with purpose and presence. And that's how you begin to design a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside. So what are these areas of life I keep talking about? Let's break it down simply. When we look at our lives through the lens of intentional time, there are 6 key domains that most of us are balancing every day. First, there's family, friends, and love, the relationships that fill our hearts and give us a sense of belonging. Then there's health and wellness, which is about taking care of our bodies and minds so we can show up as our best selves. Environment and home life covers the spaces we live in and how they shape our energy and mood. Career and business is where we channel our ambition and make an impact in the world. Personal development and leisure is all about growth, learning, and the activities that bring us joy and fulfillment. And finally, finances and wealth, because feeling secure and in control of our resources matters too. Now here's a question to pause on. Which of these areas are getting the most and least of your time right now? And most importantly, is that what you truly want? Because when you know where you're spending your energy, you can start making choices that align with the life you're longing to create. And you know I love a step-by-step, so here's how to time block for what matters. Now that we've looked at the 6 key domains of life and reflected on where we're currently investing our time, let's talk about how to actually make intentional time blocking work for you. This isn't about overhauling your entire life overnight. It's about starting where you are and making small, meaningful shifts that add up over time. The first step is to get clear on your current season. First, take a moment to recognize the season you're in right now. Are you in a phase where your career or business is demanding extra attention? Maybe you're focusing on family, or perhaps health and wellness have moved to the top of your list. There's no right or wrong answer here, just an honest acknowledgement of where your energy is most needed right now. When you're clear about your season, it's easier to set realistic expectations for yourself and let go of the guilt that comes from not being able to do it all at once. Step 2, ask yourself, how much time do I want to spend on each domain this week? Next, grab a notebook or open a note on your phone and write down each of the 6 domains. Beside each one, jot down how much time you ideally like to spend there this week. Not what you think you should do or what others expect of you, but what feels right for you in this moment. This is your chance to design your week from a place of intention rather than obligation. Step 3, time block your calendar. Now open your calendar and start assigning specific blocks of time to each domain. Begin with your top priorities, the areas that are most important to you right now. Maybe that's a morning walk for health, an evening family dinner, or a dedicated hour for personal development. The key here is to make these blocks as concrete as possible. When you see your commitments on your calendar, they become real, not just ideas or wishes. Step 4 is to protect your blocks. This is where the real work begins. Once you've scheduled your time, it's up to you to protect it. That means communicating your boundaries to the people around you, your family, your colleagues, even yourself. It also means learning to say no to distractions and requests that don't align with your priorities. Remember, every time you protect your time, you're sending yourself a powerful message. I matter, my priorities matter. Step 5. Review and adjust weekly. Finally, make it a habit to review your time blocks at the end of each week. Ask yourself, did I spend my time the way I wanted to? What worked well? What needs to change? Life is always shifting, and so are your needs and priorities. By regularly checking in and adjusting your schedule, you ensure that your time continues to reflect what matters to you. This process isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each week, you get to refine and recommit to the life you want to live. And over time, those small intentional choices add up to big shifts in how you feel and what you're able to accomplish. So take a deep breath, start where you are, and trust that you're building the life you truly want, one block at a time. And I've got a few tips for actually making it work, as I know that setting up intentional time blocks is only half the story. The real magic happens when you put these ideas into practice and make them stick. So let's talk about a few practical ways to help you stay on track and actually feel the benefits of this approach. First, start small. It's tempting to want to overhaul your entire schedule at once, but lasting change happens one step at a time. If looking at every area of your life seems daunting, or if you already feel like some of your areas of life are covered, perhaps focus on 1 or 2 domains at a time. Maybe this week you commit to protecting your health block or making time for a creative project. Small, consistent choices add up over time and help you build confidence as you go. Next, lean into tools that work for you. Whether you love the feeling of writing in a beautiful planner or prefer the convenience of a digital calendar, find a system that fits your style. Set reminders or alarms to help you transition between blocks, and be sure to build in buffers, those little pockets of time between commitments, so you don't lose track of your intentions and can move through your day with more ease. And don't forget to celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Notice how it feels when you honor your commitments to yourself. Maybe you feel more energized, less stressed, or simply more present. Acknowledging these moments helps reinforce the value of your choices. Finally, be flexible. Life is always changing and your needs will shift too. Give yourself permission to adjust as you go and trust that you're always moving towards a life that feels more balanced and fulfilling. So here's your invitation to take the first step, and I promise it's simpler than you think. This week, let's keep it easy. For 2 of the 6 domains we talked about, just pick one thing you want to do. Maybe it's a phone call with a friend, a walk outside, or spending a few focused minutes on your side project. Then block out 30 minutes for each of those in your calendar. Treat these blocks like appointments you can't miss, because they're appointments with what matters most to you. When you honor these commitments, you'll start to feel the difference right away. And if you want more support, join my email list. Head over to timeforliving.co. You'll get regular quick wins, exclusive resources, and encouragement from a community of ambitious women just like you. And as we wrap up, remember this: you have more control over your time than you might realize. By asking yourself, how much time do I want to spend? And actually carving out those blocks, you're taking the first real step towards a life that feels more intentional and fulfilling. And I can't wait to talk more about how to stay consistent with these habits, because when you show up for yourself day after day, that's when real change happens. Join me next week as we explore how to build momentum and make these shifts last. Until then, take good care of yourself. You deserve days that feel intentional. So go ahead, take back your time, and make it work for you. Hey friends, thank you so much for tuning in to the Time for Living podcast today. If this episode inspired you to take action and save time, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a written review and subscribe over on Apple Podcasts. Your feedback means the world to me and helps us reach even more amazing people like you. If you know a friend who needs to hear this message, share this episode with them. And remember, your time is precious, so make every moment count. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep living, and keep making time for what matters most.